Happy Wednesday, UnWoke Nation. I'd like to welcome you to episode 96 of the UnWoke Show, where free speech is welcome, all subjects are on the table, and your boys Rich and Tim bring you the latest and greatest in your entertainment, baby. I'm your host, Rich, with my co-host here, Timmy. How you doing, Tim?
Oh, great, Rich, man. I'm glad to be back. Guys, we have been struggling through some technical difficulties, but we have finally worked through it. Woohoo! So we are back on the air, guys. So excited to be here tonight. And we are just going to go ahead and jump right into things. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news the last few days, but there seems to be a little Washington, D.C. debacle going on. Don't know if you've seen it, paid much attention to it, or maybe you saw it and you're just thinking like, it's not worth it to me to pay attention. But guys, we're going to talk about it. So earlier this week, the Atlantic news outlet released notes it had taken during a Signal chat. The chat involved Department of Defense Hegseth, who was in charge of the DoD, and strikes planned against Houthis in Lebanon. So what happened was you have a bunch of you have the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth discussing potential plans for bombing a strategic target, Houthi target. And the Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeff Goldberg, got invited to this chat.
Whoops.
And all of a sudden, he's seeing things are being talked about, and he has no idea. Somebody somehow had added him. Mm-hmm. But again, Jeffrey Goldberg is editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, and so he starts making notes of the entire conversation that is going on, right? The chat was notable for who it excluded. The only military attendee of the Principals Committee, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, right? Admiral Christopher Grady is currently serving in that position in acting capacity because Trump fired former chairman General C.Q. Brown Jr. In February. And so during this Signal chat, and for guys, if you don't know what Signal is a end-to-end encryption program that you basically, when you and I are chatting, if we're using the app, our communication between the two of us is encrypted. It had started to become popular because the government was allegedly snooping in on everybody's conversations. It had been identified, the NSA who had been listening in. And so people were looking for a more secure and encrypted way of communicating with each other. And so it had become very popular. And so now you have higher ups in the Trump administration, a group of individuals using Signal, talking about strike packages, talking about the first wave of F-18 Hornets that were going to bomb a specific location because the target in question happened to be visiting his girlfriend at this building. They had confirmation. They had said, weather looks good, everything is good, strike package is a go. So they started off with F-18 Hornets, then it was drones after that, then it was another round of F-18 Hornets coming in, attacking additional Houthi insurgent primary target locations. And so here it is. You can imagine being the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, and you're being privy to all this information that has been...
Oh, it's flipping Christmas for a guy like that. As a journalist, let's say, people I know who are journalists, you have the opportunity where you have a massive lead like that, unprovoked, of course, but it's like you got a massive lead like that. It's like, it's just, as a journalist, it's like, you live entire careers, to have that opportunity for information like that. So I remember when I was first hearing about this story, I actually had to stop doing what I was doing because I was listening to the news going like, wait, what the hell information are we giving out?
Yep.
And also now I've heard about Signal, what is about 2 years ago, and like that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like just some. What would you call it, Tim? It was almost just like another kind of like just.
It's another thing. Yeah, it's another messaging application. But
I didn't think anything of it.
The part of it is the fact that the communication's encrypted. So here it is. You have these government officials think that they're doing everything by the book, essentially, and yet they're using their personal devices, using in a Signal group chat, talking about military operations taking place. And so one of the notes that had posted during the Signal chat was he had posted multiple details about the impending strike using military language and laying out when a strike window starts, where a target terrorist was located, the time elements around the attack, and when various weapons and aircraft would be used in the strike.
See, I think the thing that just kind of shocked me about it is because you and I already knew what Signal was. At no point did we sit there and think, we're just thinking it's just a social type thing. But the fact that these plans, and of course the Secretary of the Department of Defense, Hawks is saying he denies that there were actually specific plans. And also, but let's just go with the story itself. Something that's that important, it's like it's a debacle. It's an absolute, like, guys, you can't be doing this crap.
So
you trying to tell me that the government, as much money as we pay, you trying to tell me they can't come up with something that's so secret and everything that you guys can only have access, say, let's just say 5-6 people.
Right.
Well, it's just you guys. This is something that you and I can use.
Yes.
That if we were like some type of hacker or whatever case may be, because there's some people out there who are really good at this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That can sit there and go, boom. Look at what we just found out about the U.S. government, what they're doing. It doesn't look good for the Trump administration.
Well, let's just remove the hacking element for a second. An inadvertent ad to a Signal chat, not to mention an ad that's a news outlet.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you're being privy to information such as, this is, again, I'm quoting Hegseth here. He's saying that the U.S. was currently clean on operational security. Oops. Godspeed to our warriors, he wrote. 12:15 Eastern, F-18s launch first strike package. 13:45, trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s.
Here's my question. You remember when in Trump in his first term about the one, I think we did a story about a couple episodes in, like, I think it was season 1. And it was about the guy who was like the big like military person for Iran or something. And it just so happens he was in a limo and the driver just happened to get out like minutes before we actually had one of our U.S. missiles, whatever, air to surface missiles, like blow him up.
Right.
What were we using then?
Probably the same thing. If you're worried about OPSEC, if you're worried about your OPSEC, I'd be worried about the morons using it. So this gets into the cast of characters that the Trump administration is made up of. Mm-hmm. Okay. You can talk about Hegseth being a former Marine, right? Mm-hmm. But he has no experience in the level, in the position that he is being at as the head of the DOD, right? Mm-hmm. He was a Fox News anchor.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's debacle number 1.
Okay.
Okay. Not that I want to get down this cast of characters, but Linda McMahon, head of the Department of Education. Are you shitting me?
I mean, I was surprised about that myself, but I mean, it's like, it's just kind of how this is just going. I think
and
that this
Kennedy?
Huh?
And Kennedy?
I mean, I think he's got some really good ideas, and I know we're kind of getting off subject some, and also, but I think he's got some good ideas.
Yes.
I would like to know a little bit more detail of exactly what it is. You know, the whole red dye stuff like that. I'm actually, I'm actually for that crap.
Yeah,
you know,
the point is that it's not that. It's more of who these individuals are and how they don't have any experience in any capacity whatsoever. And yet this is Trump's inner circle. And we're not even 50 days in? We were talking about this off air, right? Beforehand. And we've already got one black eye already, right? I mean, this is, for you and I and the rest of the country, I mean, if you're a Democrat, you're like, God, I cannot, this is not even act one. This is preamble type stuff, right? I'm excited to see what else is happening as, you know, the Trump administration, I want to use the term matures loosely here, right?
Yeah, but you do understand where it's like in comparison over the course of the same amount of time you just said, where this is basically the first, you could say, mistake that they've made. And so I think I think it's the two things I think that shocked is that, one, I think that people wouldn't expect something as simple as Signal, although it may not be as popular as other ones. That's one thing. Yeah. But it's just the truth, truth be told. I mean, it's like this administration basically has done nothing but try to fix out the border, return to the economy, doing all these different things. I think that's, which gets to my number two. I think that's the reason why people are so shocked. It's like, you've been doing all this stuff. You've been busy and doing all these executive orders, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, you dropped the ball on what? Something that important that could be potentially killing someone who is a danger to Americans or allies or whatever you want to call them like that. So, which, by the way, Tim, is like, who's the exact person we're trying to go after? This supposedly this information supposed to be going after. Who is this person? Is he a terrorist or what is it? No, just in case. I mean, if people there on UnWoke Show don't know,
I could not find out if it actually stated who.
Yeah, who's this guy in the right place and
that is. I don't know from what, at least the reading that I have been doing about this.
I mean, it doesn't exclude the mess up.
Right.
Because that's it. We both agree this was bad.
So this is bad from the standpoint of, let's go back to how you were labeling blunders and accomplishments, sure. Right? So blunder number one, you're using Signal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And blunder number two, you invited somebody from the media.
This is,
whether it's inadvertent or not, right? Now, keep in mind, Goldberg went to the CIA and he said, should I print this? And the CIA was like, hey, we would appreciate if you didn't.
Well, he's got you by the balls right now. This is something, I mean, it's two words in this. Top secret.
Yeah.
You would think.
You would think. But what does Trump and what does the administration do? They basically try to discredit Goldberg.
Yeah, they did.
And deflect and make it, it's not that big deal. I still got faith in Hedgeseth and I'm not going to change anything.
I don't want to fire the guy. I don't want to fire the Waltz guy and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when the president was being asked the question, are you basically the press is asking, are you planning to still use Signal? Which he replied where it's like, well, yeah, I still plan to use Signal and all. I would think it's like, Mr. President, something to this magnitude, I will prefer you guys figure out a way to find something even more secret than Signal that you can be able to talk to people about, talk about such big things.
So, you know what the definition of irony is?
Tell me.
How about I read it to you and I'll see if you can pick it up?
Sure.
All right. So, Signal is an application and its communications are encrypted but it can be vulnerable. Okay. Signal is a publicly available app that provides encrypted communications, but it can be hacked. It is not approved for carrying classified information.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Am I in a moment where
your holiness will come into
okay, because
conversation?
Should I be glad I'm sitting down?
Your holy, you may be saying your holiness again here in a minute or two.
Okay.
On March 14th, one day before these strikes, the Defense Department cautioned personnel about the vulnerability of Signal, specifically that Russia was attempting to hack the app, according to a U.S. official who was not authorized to discuss the matter publicly and spoke on the condition of anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
One known vulnerability is that a malicious actor with access to a person's phone can link his or her device to the user's Signal and essentially monitor messages remotely in real time.
Oh, man. Okay, I might think that the president might have spoke a little too soon in response to the continuation of using Signal, knowing that information right now. Don't we pay like 20-something-year-olds who play Call of Duty all day long to figure that shit out?
Yeah, you would think so.
You know, so I go back to my original statement. How is it that we have not figured out something that can be so top secret that the top secret can't see the top secret, to have such information to make a plan of an enemy against the United States that it can't check, double check and triple check to figure out that somebody who could blow this story to smithereens. Thank you, sir, for for wanting to take it to the FBI, to CIA, for letting them know about it. But I'm just letting you know, Tim, not every journalist would be that way. They have information like that. It's a major story. Every journalist wants to have the opportunity to really make a name for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
He could have said absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And just said, boom, I'm just going to put it out there.
Yep. So it gets better.
Matter of fact, let's go one step further. Watergate.
Yeah.
All right. So story comes out and they're like that. And it's like, what's this all about? And all of a sudden the president resigns.
Yeah.
Just blew the story.
Yeah.
Somebody could have sat there and said, Mr. Nixon.
Deep throat.
Yeah. There's an issue going on right now. How should we deal with this? Because we can blow the story up right now.
Yep.
Okay. You said it's going to get deeper. Here we go.
Sources say the details shared by Hegseth in Signal chat were classified. Okay, so obviously the White House is going to downplay this. Oh, this isn't classified information. It's fine. No. In fact, it is classified information.
Mm-hmm.
It says the information Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, former Fox News anchor, disclosed in Signal chat of top Trump national security officials was highly classified at the time he wrote it, especially because the operation had not even started yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The updates Hegseth was giving in the Signal chat were the kind of real-time play-by-play that a commander would be giving to the president in a highly classified setting as the operation unfolded.
Yeah, that's it's a debacle, man. It really is.
So
I'm like it is.
I'm going to leave it with this. These are operational plans that are highly classified in order to protect the service members.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're getting back to, you've got a rookie who's the head of the DOD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can, I get everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Starting at the head of the DOD when you were a former Fox News anchor, that's, even for me, that's going to be a stretch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
2, you release a memo the day before about using Signal and how it is vulnerable and that Russia has been trying to figure out how to hack the app.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the man in the middle piece.
Yeah, we just be, gosh, guys, you got to be smarter than
And
this.
then you invite the press into this. Okay. I'm just going to leave it at that. UnWoke Nation, we would love to get your feedback on this topic. Guys, you can reach us at feedback@unwoketheshow.com. Again, that is feedback@unwoketheshow.com. Rich, a pleasure as always, man. Guys, we are glad to be back. And as always, stay...